Hey, all right. We're going to get this rolling. Thanks for being on, everybody. I'm going to hit record. And we are recording. And live. Hey, welcome. I'm Kevin Mahoney from Realstone Systems. We're a company that's been around since 2005. And we got our start with all the products that you see behind us. I'm in Troy, Michigan, and this is our showroom and headquarters. And in 2005, our founders, Mike Corden and Steve Hodges, got together and started bringing in 6x24 ledgestone panels. This is a Sierra Shadowstone panel. It was one of our very first. And while natural stone changes over time, quarries change, it can shift in shades. One thing that hasn't changed is our commitment to quality. Steve and Q got together and they said, hey, we want to have a product that's not a Me Too product. We want to have a best-in-class product that works commercially, works residentially, works inside and works outside. And so it began. Even selling panels out of the trunk of their car, saying, hey, what do you think about this? To people in the masonry industry, not much longer, people in the tile industry, people in the landscape industry. Because of the quality of the product, it bridges a lot of segments and allows versatility. So if you're a dealer, it allows you to call on different people. If you've got a showroom, it increases maybe the incremental business that you get from the neighborhood that you service. If you call on A&D, it allows you a whole host of options, whether it's an interior designer, an architect, a residential builder, a design build company. So we love working for Realstone. We love our product. And I've been here 14 years, and you'd think it might get old talking about a 6x24 panel, but it doesn't. And it's a competitive market, but there's a lot of reasons. And we're going to go into why we have been so successful and why we are so well received in the marketplace. This is a true 6x24 panel, rectified. The measurements are what the measurements are. The word nominal in the tile world means, hey man, that's 23 and 7/8 by 6 or 5 3/4, but it's not exact. This is exact, 6x24 panel. Several of the things you'll notice is, or maybe you won't notice, is spaces or glue on the face, how smooth the panel is. And I'm going to lay up some panels on the easel behind me, and we're going to talk about that, as well as some design features, including our corners, our natural ends, and then we'll even show a video on how to miter corners if that's what the client wants. So those design solutions are very critical. Now, the first thing I wanted to do was, and there's a lot of competition out there. It's natural stone. It's put together in the panel. We get stone from all over the world. So controlling quality is something that we're really good at. Relationships, not just with our customers and our clients, but also with the people that manufacture. So we're making sure that our products are best in class from a design standpoint. Now, I grabbed a Brand X box this morning at Home Depot, and I covered it up. I think names and faces have been changed to protect the innocent, but it's actually, I didn't want it to be like this, but when I opened it up to prep for the show this morning, it came out like this. And the first thing I want you to notice is the box. The box has a window on it to show what the product is. It's some sort of marketing ploy, I suppose, but it's all ripped, and it was ripped when I got it at one of the big box stores. It says that it's a 6x24 panel on the outside, and it has a name and it has some information. It's handcrafted, it says. But when I get into the box and pull it out, it was literally, and I don't know, in all fairness, I don't know what happened to the panel, before I pulled it off the shelf, but somebody was having a bad day. That panel looks like that. It's a Z pan. The panel that I showed you before And I can show you the inside of this box. It's a box of rocks. It's not a box of panels. And maybe, I don't know, maybe something catastrophic happened. I don't know. This is our panel. I want you to look at the thickness, at the robustness of the panel. I'm going to zoom in on that a little bit because I think that's important to understand. I'm going to pull this back. So this is our panel, a 6x24 panel, thick. One of the things and one of the quality components that we pay great attention to is no glue on the face, no glue on the back, but lots of glue in between. So it stays together in the box. I'm going to lay a tape on these too while we're talking. Now, this stone is a quartzite in brand X, and that's fine. Quartzites are very durable stones, but it has no testing. This is a quartzite, and we have the testing for that. You can use that in a water feature. You can use that outside in a freeze-thaw climate, and you probably can use the quartzite, but you don't know. And if something would happen, who's to say that manufacturer X, Y, or Z would say, hey, we didn't say you could use that outside. If I lay a tape on this Z panel, I find that it's 23 3/4, both of them. If I go across it, it's 5 7/8. Our panel is 24 inches by 24 inches. So you're about 7% less on a panel on a takeoff. So right there, you get 7% less stone. The other aspect of it is this Z panel. Z panels, in theory, the stone is falling apart so bad I don't even know how to demonstrate it. The Z panels, in theory, are supposed to go together and actually save, and I didn't practice this, and actually supposed to be seamless. But when this touches there, because there's more places for spaces, look at that space right there. And if you had that all over your wall with a light colored panel, it'd look like someone took a Sharpie and put that space up there. So there is definitely a quality difference, just like there is with everything. You don't buy your shoes at big box if you're a serious runner. And if you're serious about design, installation, install, and value, Realstone Systems is the best option for you. So now let's compare and contrast, as one of my old college professors used to beg us to do on our papers. I'm getting a little bit older, but this is a Realstone box. The first thing you might notice is I picked it up by these straps. There is no window, but there's plenty of branding on there. We do this to protect the stone. If you've ever been to McDonald's and you got a Big Mac and you open it up and it doesn't look like the sign, it looked like somebody was sitting on it to warm it up. And this looks like the pictures that you get. So you can pick this box up by the straps, 60 pounds. Haven't opened it up yet. Let's see what happens when I do. Cut the straps. On the top, you'll see fragile, do not drop. You'll see phone numbers, 1-800 numbers, as well as numbers that indicate helping us and you to control colorways, because stone does change, porcelain tile changes. But it allows us to give you lot numbers that are consistent, corners and accessories that match. Now, when I open this thing up, the most impressive thing that I can show you, other than the finished product on the wall, and what you see behind me is the product that I'm opening up. This is a white birch honed panel. We've got more instructions on the top with labels and, hey, telling you to mix them before you put them up. Dry layouts are always encouraged. But this box, when I pull this out, you don't want to not have a wrap on your stone. This is foam wrapped in between each panel so it doesn't chatter, because the integrity of the stone through transportation is the most important thing about putting put the stone on the wall as a panel. So as I pull these out, I think it's fun to note Dry layout ensures best-in-class design and how you want it to flow. And it's very easy to do. And you also should always mix boxes as well. You know, one thing that's critical that people never consider is the fact that when you lay those out and you've got a flat profile, that you can lay the next row out and nothing is different. It's so smooth across the top of the panel that we don't have a problem. Brand X, Y, and Z sometimes have a difference on the top of the panel that may be just a 1/16 of an inch, but the next row is going to be an 1/8 of an inch. And the contractor installer has to rectify that as he goes up to eliminate the possibility of lines on the wall. So I still pull these out. They have paper in between them, foam paper, which is great. This is my dry layout. I can do it on the floor. I can do it on this easel. And then you can always offset them. 30% if you don't have a lot of space, or a random running bond is always best. But because our panels are 6x24 square, there's less places or contact places for spaces like we showed you on the Z panel. And because they're rectified and perfectly square and perfectly 6x24, you're able to push them together and not have the lines that we saw on the other panel. That is a Realstone panel packaging. I would call that the mini presentation. And there's about 26 other quality control points that we put into our stone that we're excited to talk about. But most importantly is, how does it look? I encourage you to go to our website and take a look at all the pictures. You can actually pull it up by product, and we'll kick around on the website just a little bit at the end here. But because it's so flat, because it's so square, we're finding many of our customers, and we're not talking about our glass today, and we're not talking about our tempered products, but the ability to mix and match our products with our stone, with all the design solutions that we have, allows for a great partnership on projects and then ongoing business, depending what kind of business you are. It's perfectly flat. You could do a wainscot with a design up top. I don't know if that looks good or not. I'm not sure my socks match, but this is a great way to present the whole Realstone lineup to your customers. I'm sure many of them come in with a Pinterest picture and tell you, hey, I'm looking for this. And we love that too. And we're able to accommodate that. The other thing you'll find with our panels is, while we have this white birch, which is on our wall back there, we can take the same stone and offer it in many different formats. This is our thin stone. This is 9 rows. And this is a testament to the construction. Now, while it looks cool, beautiful, contemporary, with a white limestone, the amount of glue that's between the panels, so it doesn't fall apart in the wet saw, it doesn't fall apart in the box or transportation. You're able to cut it and put it into the installation, that there's no glue on the back because we don't want those bond breakers there, that you can use it outside. It's so critical to success. One of our biggest sellers and largest trending products is the same product, and it's the white birch ledge. It's a rock face, the same stone. We also offer in tiles and hearthstones and a whole host of different formats and SKUs. Another popular trend is people taking the stone with a dimensional feel to it and adding different textures, like our white birch tile. So maybe on the sides of the fireplace, there's a white birch tile. Over the fireplace, there's the white birch honed or ledge stone to give it a great feel, different textures, and a very cool, timeless installation. All right. So we talked about packaging. We talked about brand X, Y, and Z. We talked about what Realstone does, and this is just one of our products. Many of our products have many different options. So I'd like to talk about our estate stone next. and the same care and love that goes into our estate stone or goes into our packaging on our panelized 6x24s goes into our estate stone. Now, I would call this a cutting edge product for several reasons. When you're installing stone, before this, when the stones were smaller like this, you had to put them up one at a time. Realstone is taking the best in class technology for stone. We've taken cavemen to a new level. And we put this loose pieces on a stainless steel mesh. This is a very rustic Greystone gold. This is a very contemporary white birch, just like we looked at there. And they're on stainless steel mesh, which means you can mount it outside. It won't rust. You'll get no fluorescence coming through. It's stiff, so you can put it up just like a tile. It installs 30 to 50% faster than having to put these pieces up one at a time. And the finished product is beautiful. We see fireplaces. In fact, I just met with a client this morning, and he talked about the fireplace. He and his wife, and he hired a mason to cut the stone, but she laid it out. They cut it, and he put it up on the wall with the mortar. It's really DIY friendly. And I think that's important to understand. All these things that we're talking about, the price on the wall is really the price, not the price of the stone. I mean, if you had to pick through a box of stone, if you had 20 boxes and you had to put it together and put it up on the wall, was it worth the price that you paid for it? And you have to ask yourself, what's most important? Is value important to me, or is just my bottom line cost? And there's bottom line cost, people. I get it. Time is not money for some people. So this is the estate stone. It covers 1 square foot. It installs like a large format tile. It becomes boxed, 60 pounds. And we wrap this guy the same way. We wrap it. There's no foam. And even though it's a rock face, we don't want that chatter. So as I pull this thing out, this is what you get. Now this is a Z panel. Kevin, you just told me Z panels have more places for spaces. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. That's exactly what I said. But the estate stone panel is a panel that has spaces built into it. So the ability to use the Z technology with still what is precise measurements allow for a beautiful installation. So can you imagine if you had to lay this up 1 stone at a time? And you could lay it up as fast as I'm laying this? Maybe, maybe not. While I'm not putting mortar on it, what you're finding is you would have to find the big stones, the small stones. You would have to make it aesthetically pleasing on the fly. And you can't do that. You can't. I mean, if you're old like me and you ever had to write your name on the whiteboard, I will not throw snowballs at my classmates, and it tailed off at the end. You see that sometimes with masons and tile guys now that are new to the trade. The old guys would put it up, they eyeball the whole thing, and it would be a beautiful installation. This takes the guesswork out of it. I want to point out that there's a hole there. We lost 1 little piece off that stainless steel mesh. Popped it back in. We're done. That's the exception, not the rule. Each one of those panels is perfectly square because we make it in a template, which means the top of it is completely flat as well. And what that means is the mixing and matching of products, styles, sills, and anything else is available. So, and that is the Berkshire Buff Estate Stone. I've created a mess. Now, one of the biggest attractions to our products sometimes is the ability to address design solutions like corners. What I've got in front of you over here, and let me pan the camera. Is a few design solutions. This is our two-piece corner. And I'm going to take this down. This is our estate stone corner. I'll talk about that in a second. This is our two-piece corner. It comes in the box, just like I showed you. We pull it out. We put it together. The beautiful thing about that two-piece corner is it's consistent. It's extremely tight. You don't see spaces. It allows for, corners are supposed to be 90 degrees. It allows for a corner that's a little bit out of square, and you can do that. Put it up very simply. The other thing it allows for is it allows for movement, changes of plane, so we don't get a crack to our finished product. When a two-piece corner meets an inside corner, the solution is pretty cool. So inside a backsplash, along the front of a counter, a column and a bump out, or from a fireplace return back to a wall, you've got a very quick solution from a time standpoint. Now, sometimes, for example, if you had a fireplace that had a short return, you wouldn't want to use the whole corner because there'd be a lot of cut and waste. So what we've created is a natural end. And you can do a butt joint. Just like that. And put a small piece. You could put a piece as small as 3 or 4 inches in there along the wall. Or you can do a flat wall termination from the kitchen into the living space if your backsplash just ended. Rake back the mortar a 1/4 of an inch and fill it with a matching caulk. It's a great design solution. The cool thing about the natural ends also is there's 2 of them, 1 on each side. So to cut this randomly and run it down the edge of your wall and flip the other one over allows for that random flow of stone throughout the installation and gives a very finished look to the project. A lot of our clients, customers depend on the corners and the natural ends on a lot of the same jobs to get the best design solution and finished product that they can get. This is our estate stone panel corner. This is our carbon estate stone. That's the stainless steel mesh on the back. If you had to get one of these pieces off there, you'd simply pop it a couple times with a chisel and the stone would come off, and we can modify for those end of runs or around light boxes or around a hose outlet or whatever you wanted to do. So it's very usable and friendly, but it gives a full stone bed depth look with the stone. And just like the white birch one we looked at, contemporary, we have 4 estate stones that are rustic, 2 that are contemporary, and more coming in 2025. How are we doing on time? Well, we're rolling. Is there any questions or anything anybody wanted to see? No? All right, we got a quiet crew. Oh, I had in my notes. Good thing I had notes, right? Hey, you know, we were at a designer, and we were talking about the corners pieces, and they had spec'd another ledge stone on a job commercially for a hospital. And the miter the corners, the cost of the job went up $50,000 because there was a lot of corners in there. They switched to us and saved $50,000 on because of the design solution that they were able to accomplish with the 2-piece corner. Consequently, we won that job, and we think we're going to win all their future business too when they specify ledge stone. Let me share my screen. I wanted to show you one more design solution because sometimes the customer is always right. And that is not beyond us. I want a mitered corner, but we have natural ends. Brought to you from the good people at the Mouse Company. There we go. So I'm going to share my screen. This is our website. You see across the top, we've got products, inspiration, resources, how to buy. We've got sale products on here, which are good quality products. They've just reached the end of life or short on inventory or discontinued for one reason or another. Feel free to check those out. But if I click on resources and I go to installation videos and guides, and I wanted to know, I had a customer who said, I don't want a natural end or a corner. Here is a very good tutorial on how to do a miter on an inside and an outside corner.
If you doing outside corner, the inside corner. Let's start with my measurement. To do a good miter, you want to have at least an inch or two of no breaks. Right here, here, here. That is good. Then return here on a short piece that you know I'm going to have a seat right next to the other. You're going to set the saw to 45 degrees. Line up our first 45 on the stone just in front of these bricks. So right there. See the 45 we just got. Next, using the same piece that we cut from, we're going to start our inside action. We want to make sure that we leave a quarter of an inch for our mortar. We're using a 1/2 inch trim. Next, we're going to take just this divot out here, cutting it on an angle right across it. For the last cut I did, you might have noticed that I had the face of the piece down. The reason I had the face of the piece down, I would have the face of the piece out. I would have almost all the way through, and sometimes you get hung up. So my face down, sometimes get off. So I should get a piece of cement board to make sure the whole product is nice, flat, even. All right, so that's the end of the project. Play with your mortar bed. You get it just right. It's nice and tight. See.
So a great tutorial on how to get that done, even a third way. And you'll find more of those resource videos, installation guides, care and maintenance on our website, as well as design resources. I wanted to just take a moment and show you our catalog. We have it in what's called a flip book form. And it's a great jumping off point to sell from, to review. Inside, outside, residential, commercial, landscape. Taking a rustic stone and turning it vertical sometimes gives it a very contemporary feel. Backsplashes and wainscot. There's a nice inside corner. And our estate stone Berkshire buff, which we talked about today. We like to organize our colorways like a paint palette. So while you don't necessarily get the scale and the scope, you can effectively understand what colorway you're looking for. There's so many different whites with brown and blue undertones, as well as creams and warms, blacks and grays. Our estate stone in its 6 colors. And that's a great example of not only the Berkshire buff again with corner pieces, it also has a limestone, Indiana limestone cap that we can help you with as well too. design solutions to make the project finished. We specialize in a wood panel that comes in 3 different colors, in Indonesian teak, which we put together with care, and it goes up in a 2-foot format very, very easily. And then we all offer a whole host of porcelain tile and paver options with really cool steps and design solutions there. There's not a product that we don't sell that we don't consider what the quality is on it. We're not about that price, we're about that value. This is our crafted collection. This is a faux stone line, which is best in class from a quality standpoint. And not only does it have products that are molded in molds made from real stone with a very incredibly high freeze-thaw testing data, but we also have thin bricks and faux Indiana limestone squares. Our designer-focused tempered tiles. These are leather-wrapped subway tiles, which have an incredible value at the designer level, whether it's a cigar or a barbershop or somebody that has a specialized room in their house. We work with those commercially and residentially. A curated marble line out of Turkey. This is while marble can be a one-of-a-kind, these are very specific to us as we picked the style and design with those. A nice picture of our tempered line in a green marble and our Berkshire buff in a 12x24 panel. Dimensions, pictures, and a whole host of other things that our website can offer. I encourage you to poke around our website, ask us for samples, reach out to us. We'd love to have a meeting, presentation, send you some samples and talk about your projects. If you use Realstone before, reach out to us. We'd love to see your pictures. You're part of the family. We like that too. Hey, January, it's cold. Be safe out there. Thanks for your time today. I'm Kevin Mahoney from Realstone Systems, realstonesystems.com.